they were going to win. So, for the first time in a long time, Fee Collier actually kind of cooked Angel Reese.
Angel Reese stepped onto the hardwood, and reality didn't waste time delivering a wake-up call. Just one preseason outing in, and the Lynx handed her a defeat so icy it practically came with a chill. Her shots were off. Defenders collapsed on her instantly, and amid the chaos, Reese's confidence looked ready to catch the next flight out. Was it opening night nerves, or the WNBA giving her a cold, "Welcome to the pros, rookie"? Either way, it wasn't the debut she pictured, but it's the one everyone's talking about. So what exactly went sideways? Let's break it down.
You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your life.
The alarm bells are ringing in Chicago, or at least within the Angel Reese is the future crew. After a pair of preseason games that resembled more of a clumsy high school audition than the start of a pro career, Reese might want to double-check whether that crown she brought from college still holds up. While Caitlin Clark is effortlessly launching deep threes and making defenders look silly, Reese is out here struggling to finish plays without fouling or getting out-muscled by Camila Cardoso. And yes, spoiler alert, Cardoso's coming out on top in both areas.
For instance, before a game or after a game or during practice for real, you rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you missed so many layups, you're so bad?
Let's not sugarcoat it. Angel Reese's preseason efforts have been, at best, underwhelming. Her showing against the Lynx included just 10 points and a rough 2 for 8 from the floor. That's one basket every 12.5 minutes over 25 minutes of game time. If that trend continues, they might want to start handing out juice boxes, because this isn't the force fans expected. She snagged just 3 rebounds, respectable for a guard, maybe, but for someone branded as a rebounding machine. Especially when a newly arrived teammate is outboarding her. It's not a good look.
We got to talk about Angel Reese missing out on these press conferences all the time. What is this really about? Here's a girl, right, who loves to be in everybody's face, loves to be on front center, right? Always on TikTok, always on Instagram, always on YouTube with her podcast, but never during press conferences before a game or after a game or during practice for real. You rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you missed so many layups, you're so bad at basketball for real?
Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, is having a completely different introduction to the league. Her preseason debut looked like something out of the playoffs, dropping dimes, hitting long-range shots, and commanding the floor like she owned the lease. The Indiana Fever racked up 108 points in a blowout that wrapped up faster than Angel Reese could commit a 4th foul. Clark was directing traffic like a seasoned pro, while Reese seemed to be drifting between background role and overly enthusiastic sideline supporter.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps. I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses? I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month: how Angel Reese and A'ja Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
Now, here's the twist: Camila Cardoso. Yes, the other Sky rookie, the one not headlining. Endorsement deals or doing podcast rounds every other day. Cardoso's quietly easing into that power forward slot like it was tailor-made for her. 13 points, 9 boards, and a whole lot of, "Pardon me, Angel, I'll take that" energy. She's scooping up the rebounds that used to be Reese's specialty. and doing it so smoothly, she's basically running the whole kitchen while Reese is left picking up the tab.
Angel Reese is smooth 6'3". And jump like that, grab him, rim, and dunk him. Let's be honest, that's bounce for a girl. That's bounce. Now, some of y'all are probably wondering why I said she could dunk. I mean, obviously, Shorty can't dunk now. We see the game, she barely get off the ground. She get like an inch off the ground. Anyway, the reason for that is she had a big injury in her leg a long time ago. Now she has a metal rod in her leg.
So where do things stand? Caitlin Clark is entering. The regular season, like she's been in this league for years, lighting up defenses and making highlight reels look routine. Angel Reese, on the other hand, is still stuck figuring out how to shoot above 25% without prompting groans from the crowd. And just in case the preseason wasn't humbling enough, guess who the Sky face in their opener? That's right, Clark, and the Indiana Fever. Saturday's matchup is hyped as the big showdown, but so far it's looking like one contender's been shadowboxing while the other's landing real punches. This was billed as a rivalry, but at this rate, Caitlin might as well sell snacks at halftime, and Reese is stuck starring in a blooper reel.
And you wonder why you have the least amount of fans showing up in attendance at your games. That all has something to do with it. You're not relatable. You're not likable. People only hear from you when you showing half off, your body, or you're showing off what you're wearing, right? Trying to make a fashion statement. You're showing off your new weave. It's so unbelievable. You're showing off your new lashes, right? But you don't talk basketball never.
At this point, it's not just about performance. It's starting to feel personal. Reese must be feeling the pressure. Imagine setting yourself up as the next big thing, only to have your own teammate dominate the paint you were supposed to own. Cardoso is converting those easy layups Reese used to thrive on back at LSU like she's taste testing samples at a buffet, but this isn't college and there's no prize for showing up. Cardoso's movement, grit, and court sense are sending a loud message. You might have the fame, but I've got the game. And Reese sees it. She sees Clark becoming the league's headline act overnight, sees Cardoso locking down the inside roll, and she's caught somewhere in between. Not reliable enough to be the scorer, not strong enough to be the rebounder, and far too noticeable to just fade into the bench. But hey, it's still only preseason, except now the real games begin. And Reese's numbers are looking less like a star's launch pad and more like a cautionary tale.
According to Forbes, Angel Reese is arguably the biggest star in the WNBA because she has more social media followers than everyone else. But like I say all the time, popularity on social media, that does not equate to the main
And we haven't even touched on what's coming when Caitlin starts hitting one-legged fadeaways while Reese finds herself sidelined just minutes in with early fouls. Saturday's matchup is shaping up to be a serious wake-up call. Clark looks ready to give a masterclass, and Reese is entering this game carrying a chip that screams overcompensation, not confidence. What started as a social media-fueled rivalry full of hype and filters has now boiled down to actual execution, spacing, defensive switches, and hitting real shots. Caitlin's adjustment to the pro game has been smooth, like a routine she's mastered, while Reese's debut feels like someone stumbling mid-step. This isn't about rookie nerves anymore. 2 games in, it's enough to realize that bullying, undersized NCAA freshman isn't the same as battling elite WNBA talent. And if Reese thought she had time to adjust, Cardoso just slammed that window shut. Every minute Cardoso outperforms her is another minute Reese loses ground in the rotation. And in the W, that's how the narrative flips fast.
Folks, the Chicago Sky Game 1 of the preseason was underway last night. Angel Reese looked pretty good, but we're going to get into that momentarily. On the negative side, Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar.
You've got to wonder what the locker room conversations sound like right now. Sure, marketing might still be uploading glamour shots of Reese and Sky Blue, but the coaching staff is probably holding meetings that start with, "So, about our starters." Reese is going to need a miracle come Saturday. She's got to remind the world why she was the headline name in college hoops. But based on what we've seen so far, Clark may not just outshine her, she might dismantle her. The key difference? Clark delivers night in, night out. Reese brings the drama, some errant shots, and if Cardoso's feeling nice, a rebound or two. But this isn't the warm-up round anymore. The spotlight is on. Reese needs to know her role, or Clark's about to make this her solo performance.
Coming season, can we know how you felt about your play out there? You're 2 for 8. Can we know how you feel about your new role, supposedly being a point forward? Ain't no damn point forward. A point forward is a person that actually create shots for others, easy buckets for others. That's what a point guard. Caitlin Clark don't just pass the ball down to Aaliyah Boston and she turn around and make a layup and get an assist. She don't just get those kind of assists where she really didn't have nothing to do with getting Camila Cardoso or one of her players an easy basket. She not getting nobody no easy baskets. It's all off the execution of the play. Whether somebody cut back door and she make a good pass. She can make good passes, but a point forward is somebody who actually orchestrates the offense.
Just when you think Angel Reese's script couldn't get more tangled, wait for Saturday's tip-off. This isn't just a regular game, it's a test of whether she belongs. It's not about endorsements or clout anymore. And right now, Reese is showing up with shaky notes, a dead mic, and the presence of someone caught off guard by the pressure. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark looks like the league's headline act before even playing her first official game. She enters every gym like it's her stage. Her basketball IQ is elite, her passes are surgical, and even her most chaotic shots seem to fall. In the preseason, she lit defenders up like she was running a clinic on humiliation. And the kicker? She does it all with a grin that says, "I just made your favorite player look silly." Then there's Reese, whose defense so far resembles confusion more than commitment.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had 2 players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200.
Let's talk about what Reese is showing with her presence. On the floor, her body language has taken a nosedive. Once projecting dominance, she now looks lost, side-eyeing teammates, drained before halftime, like she's stuck in a pickup game she didn't sign up for. Meanwhile, Cardoso is cleaning the glass with ease, making second-chance points look automatic. When fans are already whispering about lineup changes before opening night, you know the situation's shaky. The media? They're circling, ready to pounce. One missed free throw, and the headlines write themselves. Angel Reese melts down mascot up next? Okay, maybe not that extreme, but the point stands. Pro ball doesn't care about your following or college fame, it only cares whether you can hang. And right now, Reese is learning that the league doesn't validate hype, it tests it.
I've tried to tell you guys, you've heard me say it on this channel. A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. You might be like, well, Rhodes, what was so embarrassing?
To be clear, no one thought she'd come in dropping 20 a game, but being overshadowed by her own teammate? That wasn't part of the plan. Cardoso, who was expected to play second fiddle, has become the team's steadiest presence in the paint. And like they say, you lose your spot slowly, then all at once. Reese needs a turnaround fast, because Clark isn't just playing. She's here to send a message. And nothing hits harder than making your biggest rival look small on national TV. If Clark throws up 25 while Reese stumbles through another inefficient night, foul trouble in tow, and visible frustration, the reaction won't be gentle. Social media will erupt. ESPN will cue the highlight montage with dramatic music and side-by-side stats, and Reese might start wishing she'd stayed in school. This isn't just player versus player anymore, it's a battle of proof. One of them is showing they're the real deal. The other? Still trying to find footing.
Blink of an eye. People keep telling us there are other people in the WNBA who have made it matter. People keep telling us there are other players who are so very, very loved. There are other players who are so very, very marketable and marketed and watched and all that great stuff.
It's not like Angel Reese is new to pressure. She's been on championship stages, taken her fair share of criticism, and knows what it's like to be in the spotlight. But this moment isn't about doubters, it's about proving she can convert her attitude, skill, and image into wins. Because if she can't, she risks becoming a warning sign while Caitlyn becomes the standard. And here's where things escalate. If Reese underwhelms against Clark, her whole rookie season might become an uphill climb. Those quiet doubts will become debates, then hot takes, then trade talks. It may be early, but the WNBA moves fast. It's competitive. And rookies don't get infinite time, especially not when your own teammate is outperforming you every step of the way.
Her fingers turn to can't even show up and buy ticket fingers. Angel Reese, going home to her alma mater, LSU, plays against the Brazilian national team in front of 6,370.
Saturday can't just be okay for Reese. She doesn't need a solid showing, she needs a full-on reset. A performance that screams, I'm not just a 2023 TikTok sensation, I'm here to dominate. Because if she doesn't, Clark's going to show up, casually drop 30, and walk away with Reese's narrative boxed and filed under remember when. There's still a chance for a bounce back if Reese can tap into her edge, get aggressive, and lock in. But the clock's ticking. And if she doesn't act now, Clark won't just take the spotlight, she'll rewrite the whole story. And Angel? She'll be stuck watching from the sideline, holding the script that was once supposed to be hers.